Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Perillo reporting for Star Wars Radar. Once again, I know it's been a while since last I did one of these live videos, but I am here to promise you this. With the pending release of The Last Jedi, I plan on doing several live videos. So, not that I would do those live videos like every day. I mean, all the live videos in one day. I would do a live video at least once a day, indefinitely. So long as you're continuing to ask questions or you are interested. My intention with doing these live videos is to kind of talk through the things that I'm thinking. I've got a topic for today's live video, The Last Jedi Expectations. And so I thought I'd cover three expectations that I had in relation to The Last Jedi, as well as to show you one thing. So that's the idea. Each one of these live videos is interactive. You can ask questions. I cover a topic and then show you something Star Warsy that's new to me, and possibly to you as well. And I don't know if you can see the reflection of my screen there in my glasses. It's very blue, the light that's bouncing off. So let's go ahead and talk about my expectations. People have asked this very often, like, what do you expect? What do you expect? What do you expect? Well, the thing that I expect is that The Last Jedi is going to be Star Warsy. That's really what I expect. That's not a point I'm making, but honestly, it's the fact that it's a Star Wars something that I'm excited for. So the first thing, the official first thing that I have as far as an expectation goes with The Last Jedi, now that we're about, 9 days away from its release? The first thing I'm expecting is that it's going to be a solid follow-up to The Force Awakens. I didn't expect much with The Force Awakens, so I wasn't disappointed. Some people were very disappointed with The Force Awakens. Some people loved it. I just went in thinking, hey, this is going to be Star Wars, and it's new. And some people said, no, it's Star Wars, and it's old. But it's new, and it's Star Wars, so I was happy. But I certainly expect that this is going to fall in line as a sequel in a better way than, let's say, The Empire Strikes Back was in relation to A New Hope, because you might remember, they really weren't expecting to ever produce The Empire Strikes Back, but, A New Hope, or Star Wars, was such a runaway success that they followed up, thankfully. And I also expect it to be a better sequel, not just sequentially, but just in terms of how it plays out than Attack of the Clones was compared to The Phantom Menace. Not just because the timeline's going to pick up like right where it left off, which I think is the right way to do it. I want to feel like it's seamless, that everything that we learned about in The Force Awakens makes sense, or at least makes more sense. But I'll come back to that point in just a moment. But certainly, I want it to be a solid follow-up, a solid sequel to The Force Awakens. It will also, I hope, this is expectation number 2, set the stage for the final episode in what should very well be the final Skywalker trilogy. We've seen enough Skywalker, and I don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Luke and the whole mythos and ethos around Star Wars, just like the lot of you who happen to be fans. But let's face it, we've seen a lot of Skywalker. It's time to see what else the galaxy has to offer. So I would certainly hope that this would effectively set the stage for the final episode in this particular trilogy. Now, just like I would hope that the stage that The Force Awakens set would lead into a perfect sequel for it. So that to me is where I'll kind of dovetail into what I had said when I did my review on The Force Awakens. I don't feel the movie can be judged or fully judged, and I'm talking about not just The Last Jedi but The Force Awakens. I don't think we can appreciate them most until the trilogy is complete. That's how I feel, because they're standalone films, yes, and they survive on their own merits. But it's with them all together that paints this entire picture that we're allowed to, or enabled to, effectively see them and appreciate them for what they are. So, again, I come back to what I had said about The Force Awakens in my final review for that, knowing full well that I may not even appreciate The Last Jedi as much until Episode 9 is ultimately released. The third thing, and this is what I wanted to come back to, the third thing that I have as far as an expectation is concerned is that, this is going to throw a lot of you off, because I think y'all are of a different mindset than I am, but I want it, and I expect it to raise more questions than it answers. So I know people struggle to come up with filling in the blanks and having every question answered, and I don't know if I like that. I don't want it. I expect it to not answer every question. I expect that it will raise more questions than it actually addresses. I don't want to know every answer. I never wanted to know every answer because that takes the magic and mystery out of what Star Wars was for me growing up. I didn't have all the answers. We had to imagine things. We had to postulate. We had to come up with theories growing up because we didn't know. No one knew. And mind you, when I was growing up in the original trilogy days, the OT, we didn't have the expanded universe. We didn't have Legends. That would have been a dream come true at that time. I don't want to dive into the whole Legends versus canon thing right now. We don't want to, load up a whole bunch of Bantapoodoo. But I expect we're going to have even more questions. And I want those questions to burn until we can, quench our thirst with the release, ultimately, of Episode 9, where it makes sense. I'm the fan who doesn't need to have every question answered, every angle covered. I like that mystery. I need that mystery in Star Wars. But I expect more questions raised than answers, which I'm sure is going to drive, as I said, many of you nuts. Okay, so those are my expectations for The Last Jedi. Now I want to show you something that just hit my radar. Didn't realize that these were available. Bic has a series of writing instruments that are now available in stores or online. And, you got to have office supplies. You might as well have them, be Star Wars-y in nature. And given that Darth Vader is there on the label, and there's also a Darth Vader utensil. These are pump pencils. I thought I would ruin the packaging. I do happen to have a spare, though. I will keep one in the package. Let me slice this open without necessarily slicing myself open. Easier said than done. I just wanted to showcase the two designs that it comes with. My favorite. There's a pencil. It's a pump pencil with the graphite inside. Not lead. Many people don't realize that. But TIE Fighters and Darth Vader and the Imperial insignia. It's very, very nice. And I believe also it says, "Come to the dark side." There's a Stormtrooper silhouette. I believe that's an E11 weapon as well. So these are now available. I will be keeping them in my little caddy. And then there's also a light side right here. And it says Jedi Knight. And then we've got silhouettes of Yoda and it looks like Luke on a Tauntaun. The Jedi insignia. Possibly, what else? Oh, C-3PO, a land speeder, all sorts of fun on this one. So if you were needing pencils, I would say go Bic. I didn't know. Seriously, I didn't know. I don't even know how I came upon these. I was like, what? So my pencils are Star Warsy. Are yours? If not, you need to get on that. You need to get right. I'm wagging my pencil package at you. Get on that. All right, tune in, or stay tuned in, subscribe, turn on notifications, etc., for the next topic that I plan on covering live. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but of course I am taking inspiration from you. Someone asked, what's up? Star Wars is up. Always. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for following me across social. Star Wars Radar on Twitter has got about 48,000 fellow Star Wars fans, so it's a good basis for a community. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.